I believe that everyone has at least one great story that only they can tell. My best story is dedicated to discovering these tales one guest at a time and releasing them into the wild. I'm Travis Tidmore. Join me as I discover Brigitte Weigl's best story. So, Brigitte, tell us your backstory.
So I grew up in Florida, and then I moved out to LA 4 years ago, like summer of 2017, whatever the math that is. 3 years ago?
3 years ago?
Yeah, 3. So, and when I was in Florida, I was working as a librarian, and then I started working conventions on like the weekends outside of my library days. And as I worked more conventions, I decided I wanted to do more of that. And then somebody told me, you should move to LA. And I was like, okay. So I went ahead and I moved to LA. And once I got out here, I became a personal assistant for Dante Basco and kept doing the con thing on the weekends. And so a lot of my work now is assisting Dante and then other people throughout convention weekends, like at their table.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Brigitte, what is your best story?
So I am going to tell you the story of the very first time I met my favorite band, which was Fall Out Boy. And this story is, I felt like going into it, I felt like I would be fine. I was like, I've met some of my favorite like voice actors. I've interacted with celebrities before, whatever. I was like, I'll probably be cool. This will be great. That was not the case whatsoever. So first, it was me, my best friend Katie, her boyfriend, and our friend Jennifer. And we all drove from Florida to Nashville. And we spent the weekend there. And we went, I forget which tour it was. It was the Boys of Zummer tour, which is when they toured with Wiz Khalifa, which was weird, but you know, we saw it. Yeah, you know, whatever. They like to do weird stuff like that sometimes. But so we drove up to Nashville. We did some sightseeing, whatever. Then we went to the concert, and the VIP meet and greet is before the show. And we're in line for like ever. It was a very long line. It took forever to do the meet and greet. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I know how these go. You go through the curtain. They're like, okay, say hi, take the picture, and get out. So I was like ready to help make things easy for the workers because I was like, I get it. I know how it goes. I've been there. So we get up to, and all my friends are like, you have to go first because like you're gonna, like we know you're gonna be the cool one, right? Like, so they were all like, you have to go first. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, I got this. I walk through the curtain, I see them, and I freeze, just shut down, nothing. So all my friends had to be like, ah! and like push me in. And one of I think the drummer, he was like, come in, we don't fight. And I was like, and so my one friend Jennifer, she just started talking, and she already has like a high pitched voice, and it got even higher, so she's like squeaking at them, and she's like, hi, can we hug you? And they're like, of course. And so we're going in, and I had a bumper sticker that I'd bought in Nashville on me that I was gonna give the drummer because I saw it and I thought it was funny, and then they dared me to buy it, and it said, drummers do it with a bang. Right? So, you know, we're here. So I like walk up to the drummer, and I'm like not really making eye contact. I'm looking down, and I just like hand him this bumper sticker like I'm sliding him drugs in the middle of this meet and greet. And then I'm like, this is for you. And I like turn away from him real quick. And then so my friends had to tell me that his reaction to it, like he like looked at it and he laughed or whatever. And I do end up giving him a hug, but I'm immediately turned to the lead singer, Patrick Stubb. And he's my favorite person, period. Like I like in love with, like ridiculous, like anything he does, I'm like magic, beautiful. Mwah. So I turn, and he's about my height. So we were like eye level, and he was much closer than I thought he was going to be. So then I'm just sitting there, eye contact, just staring at him for like, it felt like forever because I couldn't move. And he was like, hi. And so I was like, hey, and I went for the hug. And then I'm making eye contact with the bassist over his shoulder, and the bassist straight up laughing at me because he watched that interaction. He's just laughing. He's like, all right, I see you. And I was like, it's mine. So I turned, and at this point, like, I feel like we've already taken too much time interacting with the band. There's 2 more members left to go, but I'm like, I'm going to stop now and take the picture and talk to those 2 as I leave, you know, like, we're going to make this. So I'm like, I'm just going to stay right where I am. So I go to turn around. And my best friend Katie, she informs me that the bassist had been ready to hug me next, and then I just turned away from him. Like, I just snubbed him. Like, I just completely just, and he was like, all right. And I'm too like, all right, we're going to take the photo now. Like, I'm not here. I'm not functioning properly. I'm not really using words. I'm just making weird noises. And she's like, my friend goes, Brigitte, hug Pete. You know, she's the bassist. And I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry. So I go and I hug him, and he's still laughing at me. And then everybody starts actually shuffling and getting into place for the photo at this point in time. So we pose, we're all together, and the guitarist at the time, he had like hurt his back, so he wasn't doing like hugs or anything in the meet and greet. He had to be like so you could like give him a handshake or something. And so we do like another round of hugs as we're leaving after the photo's taken, and like the drummer held up the bumper sticker in the photo with us, which is funny.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm still like shaking, like I'm like, it's fine, everything's okay. And everybody's giving their goodbye hugs. The bassist is still laughing at me every time we make eye contact. He's just like, nah. And I'm like, it's fine, whatever. And I'm still flustered. I turn to the guitarist and I shake his hand. And in my head, I wanted to be like, yeah, I'm like, thank you. You know, I'm sorry we can't hug you. You're hurt, whatever. But I was like, thank you, I'm sorry, goodbye. And I ran. I just flew out of the room. Oh, thank you, I'm sorry, goodbye. And just ran. Like, I was just gone. I just left the photo op room. And like all my friends behind, like I was gone. Like I just kept going. And then my friends found me around a corner, and I was just like crying. And they're like, Bridget. And I was like, it's fine, I'm okay. I didn't realize. And they're like, you were supposed to be the cool one, and you just broke down. And I was like, I don't know what happened. So, you know, it's fine. Everybody, for like years afterwards, everybody was like, thank you, I'm sorry, goodbye. I was like, listen, I know I've been.
That's fantastic.
Like, I'm sure they were probably like, is she okay? Is she all right? You guys? All right.
I'm sure you're not the first person who's reacted that way to meeting them.
I know. I'm sure they've been around, since 2001, and they were like huge. I'm sure they've had quite more like emotional shows, but I was just like, it was such a fog. Because I was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm overwhelmed. And I've never, ever had to, like, I've never done that before in my life. So
I've had one of those awkward where you're just like, you turn and you're looking at the same place as someone else, and your eyes just lock, and it's one of those where you just kind of like, now what? And then finally, it was about 2006, I think. I was living in LA at the time, and I'd gone to a test screening of Superbad, and the movie ended, we were leaving, and this guy was coming down the aisle instead of leaving like everyone else. And someone moved in between us, and we were both looking at the exact same spot, and our eyes locked, and we just stared, and I was like, you're Hank Azaria. I didn't say that out loud, but in my head, I was like, Hank Azaria. And so we just locked eyes, and then finally, at the same time, we both just went, and then kept walking, and it was like so awkward, but also just like one of the coolest moments, because I was like, I just had like weird eye contact for way too long with Hank Azaria, but it was pretty awkward.
That's great.
So I've been in one of those awkward moments.
Yeah, we're just like, yep, here we are.
What do we do now?
Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm out.
That's awesome. So where can people find you online?
You can find me basically literally anywhere. It's all under the same @ and it's at the Brigitte, BRIGITTE MOYA, the Brigitte Moya. Moya is my middle name.
Awesome. I should have used that one. I probably wouldn't have screwed it up at the beginning.
It is easier to pronounce. That's why I have them all under Moya, because nobody could say Weigl. Even Dante couldn't
Weigl.
say it. So like,
I will probably never forget that from now on. So that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We'll definitely have to have you back and have you tell your next best story sometime.
Yes, for sure.
So thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for
I
having me. It was
appreciate it.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I want to thank Brigitte for coming on and telling her story today. As always, new episodes drop right here every Tuesday and Thursday. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Our title music is Red, White, Black, and Blue by Peg and the Rejected. If you have a story you'd like to tell on the show, hit us up on our Facebook page, on Twitter at My Best Story Show, or via email at mybeststorypodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, go live your best story.